The Trojan War was one of the greatest and most famous conflicts in ancient Greek mythology, a long and brutal war between the powerful city of Troy and the united armies of Greece. It began when Paris, Prince of Troy, took Helen, the wife of Menelaus, an act that sparked a chain of events leading to an epic siege that lasted for 10 long years. Many of the greatest heroes of Greece fought at Troy: Achilles, the mightiest warrior; Agamemnon, the commander of the Greek forces; Ajax, known for his strength and bravery; and Diomedes, a fearsome fighter. But among these legendary figures, there was one hero who was not only a warrior but also known for his clever mind: Odysseus, the cunning king of Ithaca. It was Odysseus who devised the idea of the Trojan Horse, the plan that would ultimately bring about Troy's downfall. However, while Troy fell and the Greeks sailed home victorious, Odysseus' journey was only just beginning. Unlike other heroes who returned swiftly, Odysseus would spend another 10 years struggling to return to Ithaca. But before we follow him on this long voyage home, let us go back to the beginning and explore who Odysseus was before the Trojan War. Long before he became a hero of the Trojan War, Odysseus was born into royalty on the small but important island of Ithaca, located in western Greece. Odysseus' father was Laertes, king of Ithaca, and his mother was Anticlea, daughter of Autolycus, son of the god Hermes, which is why Odysseus inherited his famous cleverness and skill in trickery. From a young age, Odysseus was known for his sharp mind, curiosity, and quick thinking. Though not as physically powerful as other Greek heroes, his intelligence set him apart. There are also legends that as a young man, Odysseus took part in small adventures, including a visit to his grandfather Autolycus, where he learned more about cunning and craft. Before the Trojan War, when Helen of Sparta was of marriageable age, many kings and princes of Greece sought to marry her. Odysseus was one of her suitors, but realizing that he stood little chance against wealthier or more powerful men like Menelaus, he used his wit to make a deal. Odysseus advised Tyndareus, Helen's father, to make all the suitors swear an oath to defend and protect whichever man Helen chose as her husband. This idea, known as the Oath of Tyndareus, would later be the reason all the Greek kings, including Odysseus himself, were bound to fight in the Trojan War when Helen was taken to Troy. As a reward for his wise counsel, Tyndareus helped Odysseus win the hand of Penelope, Tyndareus' niece, and a woman known for her own intelligence and loyalty. Odysseus married Penelope, and together they began their life in Ithaca. Their marriage would become one of the most famous and enduring love stories of Greek mythology. Soon after, Penelope gave birth to their son Telemachus, and for a time, Odysseus ruled Ithaca in peace. During this period, Odysseus was respected by his people and admired for his fairness and cleverness, but his peaceful life would not last long. When Helen was taken by Paris to Troy, the oath he had helped create was called into action. The Greek kings sent envoys to Ithaca to ask Odysseus to join the war effort. Odysseus, who had just started his family, did not want to leave his home or risk his life in a distant war. To avoid joining the war, he even pretended to be mad, yoking an ox and a donkey to his plow and sowing salt in his fields, as if they were seeds. But his ruse was uncovered when Palamedes, one of the Greek envoys, placed baby Telemachus in front of the plow. Odysseus immediately swerved to avoid his son, revealing his sanity and leaving him with no choice but to honor the oath and join the war. As the Greek ships landed on the shores of Troy, Odysseus quickly proved that he was not just another warrior, but one of the Greeks' most valuable leaders. From the very beginning of the war, Odysseus' mind was his greatest weapon. While others fought with swords, he fought with ideas. As the Greek warriors prepared to set foot on Trojan soil for the first time, an ancient prophecy weighed on them. The first man to step onto Trojan land would be the first to die in battle. In a moment that would become legend, Odysseus threw his shield onto the sand and leapt onto it, touching Trojan soil without truly stepping on it. By this clever act, he avoided the curse, and his name as a man of cunning was secured from the very start of the war. Early in the war, a serious problem threatened the unity of the Greek army. Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Greeks, abandoned the fight after a quarrel with Agamemnon, the commander of the Greek forces. Agamemnon had taken Achilles' war prize, the maiden Briseis, causing Achilles to withdraw from the war in anger and refuse to fight. With Achilles gone, the Greeks were at a disadvantage, and their chances of winning the war seemed to fade. Odysseus was chosen to go to Achilles' camp and try to persuade him to return to battle. Odysseus was known for his way with words, presented well-reasoned arguments, and appealed to Achilles' sense of honor and duty, but Achilles remained unmoved and refused to fight. Despite this failure, Odysseus continued to play an essential role as a strategist and advisor. One of his notable actions was during a night raid where he joined Diomedes to spy on the Trojans. While sneaking into the enemy camp, they captured a Trojan spy named Dolon, who had been sent to gather information about the Greeks. After questioning Dolon and learning valuable secrets, Odysseus and Diomedes killed him, then proceeded to attack and kill several Trojans in their sleep and steal horses from the enemy camp. Later, when Achilles finally returned to battle after the death of his close friend Patroclus, he killed Hector, Troy's greatest defender. But soon, Achilles himself was killed, struck in the heel by an arrow shot by Paris and guided by Apollo, the only vulnerable spot on his body. With Achilles dead, the Greeks were left without their greatest warrior, and his famous armor forged by the god Hephaestus became a matter of dispute. Both Odysseus and Ajax the Greater claimed the right to Achilles' armor, each arguing that he deserved it more. While Ajax emphasized his bravery and strength, Odysseus argued that his cleverness and service to the Greeks had been equally important to their cause. In the end, the armor was awarded to Odysseus, as the Greek leaders recognized that his intelligence had been vital for their survival. This decision, however, drove Ajax to madness and eventually to suicide, marking another tragic loss for the Greeks. Another prophecy said that the Greeks needed the Palladium, a sacred statue of Athena, to conquer Troy. Odysseus and Diomedes undertook the dangerous mission to steal it from inside Troy, and they succeeded, taking away one of Troy's key protections. Still, the walls of Troy remained unbroken. After 10 long years of war, the Greeks had not found a way to breach the city. At this point, Odysseus devised his most famous plan, the idea of the Trojan Horse. The plan was brilliant. The Greeks pretended to abandon the war and left behind a massive hollow wooden horse as a gift to the Trojans, claiming it was an offering to Athena for a safe journey home. Inside the horse, Odysseus and a group of elite Greek warriors hid, waiting to emerge at night and open the gates of Troy for the returning Greek army. At first, the Trojans were suspicious. Some, like Laocoon, warned against bringing the horse into the city, famously saying, "Beware of Greeks bearing gifts." But when 2 sea serpents suddenly appeared and killed Laocoon and his sons, a sign interpreted as punishment from the gods, the Trojans believed that accepting the horse was the will of Athena. As night fell and the Trojans celebrated, Odysseus and his men quietly emerged from the wooden horse and opened the city gates for the Greek army, which had secretly returned. The Greeks entered Troy, sacked the city, destroyed its buildings, and killed or enslaved its people, bringing the long war to a brutal end. Thus, after 10 years of war, Troy was finally conquered, and Odysseus's clever mind was the key to victory. Although Odysseus played a key role in winning the Trojan War, his challenges were not over as he began his journey back to Ithaca. Along the way, Odysseus angered the god Poseidon, which led to many trials and adventures that are told in the epic story of the Odyssey. In the next chapter, we will explore the incredible journey that awaited Odysseus, a journey filled with mysterious islands, terrifying monsters, vengeful gods, and deadly temptations.